Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Free Terrible Gamers. I'm your host Colin, here with Ashton.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Alright, got a few left over from last week, which are definitely still relevant, and a few from this week, so let's get into it. Google loses lawsuit to Epic Games.
Yep, so it says a jury ruled that Google had violated antitrust laws to extract fees and limit competition from Epic Games and other developers on its Play mobile app store. In a case that would rewrite the rules on how thousands of businesses make money on Google's smartphone operating system, Android. After deliberating for a little more than 3 hours, the 9-person federal jury sided with Epic Games on all 11 questions in a month-long trial that was the latest turn in a 3-year legal battle. The jury in San Francisco found that Epic, the maker of the hit game Fortnite, proved that Google had maintained a monopoly in the smartphone app store market and engaged in anti-competitive conduct that harmed the video game maker. So, Google lost the lawsuit, obviously, and it went different than Apple's lawsuit because Epic lost the lawsuit to Apple whenever they went to court. But apparently, Google was doing some illegal things with the antitrust laws and the competitive market. So, wasn't able to really find or see how this affected Fortnite. If Google would have to pay Epic so much, and then Fortnite would be able to come back to the Play Store if it's just completely gone. But with Android, you don't have to get Fortnite from the Play Store. You can get it download from pretty much any website or Epic Games themselves. But with Apple, it's obviously not going to be on the App Store anymore because they lost the lawsuit, but you can still play on either Android or iPhone with the Xbox Game Pass, the beta cloud gaming thing.
Yeah, I believe that's been the thing with, because I have an Android. I believe that's been the thing with it was once upon a time it was on the Play Store, and now it just all of a sudden disappeared one day. And I think that's what part of the thing was because Google was like, they didn't necessarily want to share the profits with Fortnite because they was purchasing it through their system, and that's where the illegal side came into it from, because they was like, okay, I understand this. So that's whenever Epic sued them, was because initially Google was just like, I understand they're buying V-Bucks, but they're buying V-Bucks through the Play Store, so therefore we shouldn't have to pay you.
Right.
And that's where a lot of play at.
Right, and that's kind of what it was with Apple too, because Apple keeps 30% of all purchases made on the App Store. So that's why they sued Apple as well. But Apple ended up winning, Google lost. Not sure what was different there, but they sided with Apple in their lawsuit, but Google did something different that was wrong.
I mean, not necessarily that too, but I'm going to kind of make it seem like because I mean, it technically was a jury to an extent because it was a 9-person jury. But so how that would work if like it was like a criminal trial or whatever, where normally you can't trial the same person twice. They're technically trying two different people, but they got practice now. They knew where their mistakes landed them with Apple, and then so they was able to make different points for the Google thing, and I think that's what made the difference on this one.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
mean, it is the same concept, but instead of them being like, "Oh, okay, we lost it once, and we're not ever going to try this again," it's one of those things where we're just like, "Okay, we can definitely try this because we know where we messed up the last time and everything else." And if circumstances are slightly different, laying in one way compared to the other, that's what makes a difference too.
yeah.
But anyways, they decided pretty quick, and yeah, Google screwed over Epic Games majorly, just like Apple did. But like you said, this time it was the other way around.
Right. And like I said, it doesn't even really matter anymore because you can still play Fortnite on your phones through Nvidia, GeForce Now, and the Xbox cloud gaming. So,
What's the next one? PS Plus Extra and Premium games for December.
okay. We have GTA 5 for PS5, PS4. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, PS5, PS4. MotoGP 23, PS5, PS4. Metal Hellsinger, PS5, PS4. Salt and Sacrifice, PS5, PS4. Tinnikin, PS5, PS4. Shadowrun Returns, PS5, PS4. Shadowrun Dragonfall, PS5, PS4. Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition, PS5, PS4. Moon Scars, PS5, PS4. Gigabash, PS5, PS4. Grime, PS5, PS4. Proteus, PS5, PS4. Mega Man 11, PS4. Mega Man Legacy Collection, PS4. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, PS4. Thrillville, PS5, PS4. Thrillville Off the Rails, PS5, PS4. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, PS5, PS4. It's a lot of games. I mean, but GTA 5 is the biggest one, obviously, and then the Mega Man's more interesting to me. And I didn't know they made a Buzz Lightyear game, so that might be alright. I don't know. Might be cool.
Yeah, neither did I. I don't know if they're basing it off of the recent. Well, I wouldn't even call it recent now because it's been almost 2 years since the movie came out. But there was the Buzz Lightyear movie. Don't know if it was based off of that or based off of Toy Story itself.
Maybe.
I would assume it's probably based on the new movie.
Probably.
But yeah, a ton of Mega Man games and a crap ton of Shadowrun games.
Never played a Shadowrun game. I've heard of them, but
sounds like it's a Persona situation. You got 15 different games for one title.
Yeah. What's a sequel?
Sequel to a sequel to a sequel.
It's technically a sequel if it's still the same game. Like Persona 5, is that a sequel? If it's still Persona 5?
I don't know how that would work. I don't know if it... I mean, I know it's not DLC, but is it a whole different game?
Technically. So I guess it would be a sequel? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's weird. I guess we're going to we talk about this way too much, not to deep dive into it. We might do that for an episode.
We have to sometime. Yeah, GTA 5 is the biggest one here. And then GTA 5, just to let you guys know, GTA 5 4 Game Pass is leaving this month. It's coming to PS Plus and leaving Game Pass.
Yeah, hate to see it go, but I mean, everyone has to get their share with it for the free platforms. Or I won't call it free platforms because you're paying for the thing, but it's better still paying $60 for the game.
Well, I think what it is Rockstar's charging a crap ton for it to be on Game Pass a month, so they just put it on there for a few months, take it off, put it on there for a few months, because it's not the first time it's been put on there and taken off, so.
That and everyone's getting hyped for GTA 6 at this point.
Yeah.
And you gotta let everyone get into it.
Right. And where it's leaving Game Pass, if you have an Xbox you want to play on Xbox or PC, it is on sale 25% off. Where it's leaving Game Pass, you can get it through Xbox on sale. Or you can just play it on PS Plus if you have PS Plus extra and premium tier.
Right. On to the next one. We've talked about this a few times, but there's still more rumors going on. Metroid Prime 4 update.
Yep. So it says, it sounds like the Metroid Prime 4 release date is near, or at least that's what a new rumor gets at. Nintendo announced Metroid Prime 4 back in June 13th, 2017. In 2019, the game restarted development, and that's the latest update we got from Nintendo on the game. As a result, some Nintendo fans have started to give up on ever seeing the game, assuming it is vaporware. That said, rumors have insisted the game is still in development, and the latest suggests it may not very far away from may not be very far from releasing. According to Papagenos, a YouTuber known within the Nintendo community, especially for Super Smash Bros. Info, Metroid Prime 4 has been done for a while, but continues to be delayed due to problems with cutscenes, which is connected to the lack of power on the Nintendo Switch. To this end, it suggested it could end up being a Nintendo Switch game for this very reason. No, Nintendo Switch 2 game. So apparently it's done, according to the rumor. If it actually is or not, who knows. But apparently it's done, but just the cutscenes are too powerful for the Switch, which they could figure it out. But I think I've said it, I think I said it even last episode, I think it's going to be a launch title for the Switch 2, but released on both consoles. But people's been really excited for this game, for a long time, since 2017. And then 2019 is the last time, like I said, we've heard anything, so people think it's just been canceled. But apparently not.
Minus like the subtle hints that he was throwing on like the couple of Nintendo Directs, how they had like the Samus symbol and people was like freaking out over it.
Right, yeah.
Thinking that was going to be a reveal thing. But yeah, other than that, there ain't been nothing crazy since 2019. Like I said, other than like little subtle hints in the Nintendo Directs being Samus icons for the thing. But yeah, it's cool that they're potentially going to do it. Do you think it's going to be one of those situations where they bring it to the Switch 2 first, then they do a port for the Switch later? And it's like kind of like a Hogwarts Legacy situation, since it's too powerful, you have to dumb it down.
I think it'll be released both same day, because Nintendo, they can figure it out. They could even do kind of like, I wouldn't say two separate versions, because kind of like Twilight Princess, because the GameCube version and the Wii version, not necessarily exactly like that, because that's just controls and mirrored and everything. But in this circumstance, I think it would be the cutscenes on the Switch version may be a lower resolution than the cutscenes on the Switch 2. But other than that, everything would be the same. So if they're having trouble with the cutscenes, they could take it down to 720 or even 480. Yeah, it might not look the best, but you do 480 and then upscale it maybe a little bit and make it look a little better in order to get it to run on the Switch. But I'd say if they dumb it down to 720 on the cutscenes, it should run fine on the Switch. Because 720, it runs 720 in handheld mode natively anyway, so.
Yeah, it would make sense. It would work. It would look a little bit worse on TV, but you're not going to tell that big of a difference in between it.
No, and the reason I'd say that they won't do a Hogwarts Legacy thing, like release it later, is because it's made by Nintendo themselves. If it was made by another company, maybe, because the other company wants to get it out for the other consoles first, make their money, and then just release a Switch version later. But with it being Nintendo, I think they'll release it on the same day.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That was still wishful thinking. Well, not really wishful thinking, but it makes sense to an extent, but yours makes sense as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, who knows? It is Nintendo. We've said that 100 times. You never know what they're going to do.
Yeah, they make some weird decisions sometimes.
Yep, sure do.
Alright, on to the next one. Netflix is bringing Sonic Mania to mobile.
Yeah, so we talked about Netflix and gaming a couple episodes ago, and they're back now with Netflix. Started off its experiment with mobile games with just a handful of options, but over time we've seen a ton of big releases in the catalog. Netflix announced another batch of games coming to Android and iOS, including Sonic Mania Plus and many more. In a blog post today, not today, it was like last week, Netflix announced that it would cross 86 games available by the end of 2023, with over 90 more incoming. That includes the major launch of the first 3 GTA games, like we talked about, on Android and iOS, which hit respective mobile stores last week. The big announcement today, or last week, is that Sonic Mania Plus, the hit console game, is coming to Android and iOS next year. Arriving as a part of Netflix's catalog, Sonic Mania Plus brings the revived 2D Sonic the Hedgehog gameplay to Android and iOS. Sonic Mania, the version released across Nintendo Switch, PC, and consoles back in 2017, was a well-received hit and saw the Plus edition launch a year later in 2018. So Sonic Mania Plus or Sonic Mania, either one. It's a really good game. I've played the Switch version, and it doesn't really matter what version you play. The Switch handles it fine. It's a 2D Sonic game. So it's really fun. So if anybody has not tried it, go play it for free on Netflix if you have a Netflix subscription when it comes out next year.
Yeah, and it's what the difference between Plus and the normal one was an Encore mode, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Which, that just seems weird to me in a gaming sense.
Have you played it?
I haven't played it at all.
It's fun. If you like 2D Sonic games.
I still had a bad taste in my mouth from what was the one that came out when the Switch first released? It was the 3D Sonic.
Sonic Forces? No, yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe. I was going live looking.
He had a handkerchief around his neck. He looked stupid. I think it was based off a TV show or something they had at the time. They've had so many bad 3D Sonic games since Sonic Heroes, pretty much. Sonic Colors was the last good one. Maybe Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Generations, but
maybe it was Forces. Yeah, it was Forces.
Okay.
But yeah, Forces left an extremely bad taste in my mouth whenever, because I got it that was actually the game I got with the Switch whenever I got it.
I thought it was.
Like I said, it bugged out on me. I couldn't even get past the first boss because it bugged out and crashed the whole entire thing. And I wasn't playing through the whole first level again. Well, first set the levels just to get back to the boss. That's how mad it made me, and haven't played it since. And honestly, other than on the Sega Genesis side of things, I haven't played a Sonic title since anywhere.
Yeah, like I said, some of the 3D Sonic games were just trash. Like the Wii ones were trash, except for Sonic Colors. And then on the 360, they had Unleashed and Generations that were okay, but I can't remember. Something of the Rings was trash on the Wii, and another one was trash.
So the last 3D one I remember playing that was any good was Heroes.
Yeah, Heroes is good. I like Colors pretty well. Unleashed, I haven't played a whole lot of it. I haven't played Generations at all, but I've heard it's good. But Colors on the Wii was good. This is the last one I've played that I know for sure that was good. Apparently Frontiers is good too, but I haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah, I'll probably try out Mania whenever it comes to, or Plus, whichever one winds up doing on Netflix whenever it comes out. But like I said, until that point, such a Sonic title.
Yeah, what do you have to lose? It's free if you have Netflix anyway. So if you don't like it,
it'll still be free. My phone plan pays for it.
Yeah.
Or my phone plan. It's still free.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, on to this week's topics. Nintendo is raising game prices once the Switch 2 comes out.
Yes, it says Nintendo Switch 2 games are reportedly going to be more expensive than current Nintendo Switch games. Nintendo has yet to officially announce its next console, but according to a plethora of rumors and leaks, it is a successor to the Nintendo Switch and releasing next year. And when you consider the massive success of the Switch, that isn't that surprising. That said, while the Switch 2 may end up being a similar in concept and design to the current model, it's releasing in a far different and more hostile economy. Out of control inflation has made everything more expensive, including the cost of making and shipping games. It's also devalued the money that is made on the sale of games. As a result, everyone has been increasing the price of their games, minus Nintendo, but as that is apparently changing. So the only game that Nintendo's charged $70 for is Tears of the Kingdom, because they said that they felt like that was a $70 game, which I agree with. It was a lot in that game. Now, any other Switch game, I wouldn't see them charging $70 for, and that's the only one they've done since, because they've came out with a few new games like Mario Wonder, Pikmin 4, and they've been $60. But Xbox,
I believe we
good.
kind of predicted this back when Tears of Kingdom came out. We said Tears of Kingdom was definitely going to be a test for Nintendo to see if they could put $70 games around and see if people would buy them. So, I mean, it just makes sense. And like I said, we kind of called it, what was it, 7 months ago now?
7 months ago. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, I mean, yeah, we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time, but they're going to wait until the Switch 2 does come out to start increasing prices. But all the Nintendo Switch 2 games are going to be $70 at least.
And I think that's a smart move by Nintendo to wait until next generation, because Xbox and PlayStation, all their games are $70 in their next generation, so it just makes sense for Nintendo to just wait until, because they'll receive a ton of backlash if they do it now. Even though I wouldn't blame them, because like this said, everything's went up, it's harder to make the games, but it's better for them to do $60, because every time Nintendo releases a game, they're like, oh, is this worth $60? Just because it's on the Switch. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's on the... In my opinion, I don't think it matters if it's on the Switch or not. It's still worth $60 because that's what the games are standard at.
Nintendo don't ever drop bombs either, though, so they're always, at least
good quality
games. Yeah, they never have a bad quality game. It's always at least decent and then, higher tier.
Right. Exactly.
Unlike and, PlayStation titles sometimes.
Yeah, and that's just with... Nintendo kind of sticks with what they know is going to sell and what they know is going to do good for them. I mean, they do have some good... I mean, I'm not saying they don't have good ideas or new ideas. I'm just saying they stick with what they know is going to work.
Yeah, which, I mean, like you said, it's everyone else has raised their price, so it just makes sense and fair for Nintendo to do the same thing whenever it comes down to that side of it.
Yep.
But move on to the mystery teaser of Spyro 4.
Yeah, so according to a new rumor, Spyro 4 Mystery of the Dragon is going to be revealed for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S very soon. It's been 15 years since the last proper Spyro game. That game was The Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. Since then, there hasn't been a single new Spyro game in 2008. In 2018, fans of the platformer series got Spyro Reignited Trilogy, but that was just a remastered collection of the original Spyro trilogy. This re-release sold very well though, moving over 10 million units and reviewing decently as well. It's surprising this hasn't been followed up yet, but it sounds like this is changing and changing very soon, is all I got for that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the news of the teaser for it. Yeah, I mean, you covered everything that I had on it. I mean, it's great that Microsoft with Activision is like, okay, this is time to pump this game out. Crash got their game a couple years ago, their 4th game, so let's go ahead and do the same thing for Spyro.
Right, and I've said it before on here, they kind of go hand in hand, even though they're technically not tied together, but they are, because they were both mascots for the PlayStation, so I think it's only fair if Crash gets a game, Spyro should get a game.
That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not necessarily going to say same day, but they would come out within months of each other.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Of course, I know it was easier to do with the older systems.
Right, but still. Yeah.
All right. On to the tasty news.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping we'd get to this.
I thought about skipping a couple, just get down to it, but I was like, I think we can still swing it.
Oh, yeah.
Insomniac's future was leaked over, I think it was last Monday.
Yeah. I have a lot of stuff for this. Just for some reason, if you guys don't want to know this is spoilers. This is games from Insomniac that's leaked up to 2035, so that's 12 years from now. So if you don't want to know games from them for the next 12 years, skip ahead. Alright, so Insomniac internal information, Insomniac's roadmap of IPs and licenses, all of Insomniac's future projects up to 2035, Insomniac's budgets and revenue, PlayStation Studios Steam sales, Insomniac's projected sales, Guerrilla internal info, and information on the company have all been leaked. On to the games. Marvel's Wolverine. And what was leaked for Wolverine was character and scenes concept art, mission playtesting footage, gameplay and combat playtesting footage, the character list and cast, playable builds, the development and release roadmap, a drawn cutscene, and a potential plot. Next game is an X-Men game. The only thing leaked for it was the title logo. Moving on. Marvel's Venom Lethal Protector. And what was leaked on it was vague details about the plot, the game pricing, and a release date, which they did not share on this article. I think a Venom game would be very cool. Just to put that. Yeah. Next game is a new Ratchet & Clank game, and it was leaked concept art, dev build images of game testing, and sections of the script. And then the last game that was leaked was Spider-Man: The Great Web, and it says, note, this game, although leaked, is supposedly cancelled. And what was leaked on it was the title card, the game description, and character and scenes concept art. And then just kind of a legal thing here. It says everything detailed here is subject to change, be delayed, or even canceled due to this leak. These plans are not confirmation of anything, so please do not harass Insomniac Games members or anyone else if these leaks do not end up happening or representing the final product. So out of those, my favorite's probably the Venom game and the Ratchet & Clank. All these games sound pretty good, but those two specifically. And apparently the Venom game's pretty much done. So I can't remember the exact release date, but I think it was within the next 2 years, so 2024 to 2025, it's set to come out.
So, and this was because they had a ransomware company that said, pay me $2 million or we're going to release everything that we have.
Yep, and they did not pay the $2 million. They were warned. I mean, it sucks. I like Insomniac, so I hate to see this happen to them, but it wasn't just Insomniac. It was, Sony owns Insomniac, so Sony that was supposed to pay the $2 million, and they didn't.
Yeah. I got some on the other side of it actually opposed to the game because I knew you had all the game stuff down to the thing, so I figured I'd have something a little bit different than you this time. So when I said their future leaked, it got first reported by Cyber Daily. The sensitive information not only includes the games, but it also included internal employees' HR documents, tax information, internal tax company messages, computer information, termination forms, and even passport details for the games and for the employees. So the fact that
personal information too. So
it was able to personal information too, not just gaming information.
Right.
And even releasing personal information of some of the workers and stuff, which sucks even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But now we know PlayStation won't pay $2 million to keep everything under wraps.
Keep their employees confidential.
Yeah. So definitely don't go after the Insomniac employees, since literally they just got their tax documents just released on the internet.
Right, yeah, I mean, like I said, it sucks. I feel sorry for them because Insomniac's one of my favorite studios in PlayStation. Them and Naughty Dog are my two favorite, I would say. So I have a lot of respect for them because they make good games. And it sucks to see something happen to a good studio that releases high quality games, because that's not a given anymore. High quality games, I mean. So.
But Me, the Wolverine game seems pretty cool, but I think we mentioned it before, way
Yeah.
back when it was first like rumored,
Yep.
and hopefully they decided to make it an M title game because I don't think it got necessary. I don't think the rating got put out because obviously the ESRB does that, not PlayStation or
Right.
Insomniac.
Right.
Oh, time for one more.
That says 31 for me on here.
Screw it, we'll give them one more.
Okay.
So in the midst of this, like I said, the Insomniac leak took place Monday, so time of recording a week and a day ago. But as of time of recording today, Insomniac released statements on the situation at hand.
Yeah, so Insomniac Games has released a statement a few days after a ransomware attack exposed millions of files, including sensitive employee information, confidential business information, and assets for in-development games. We're both saddened and angered about the recent criminal cyber attack on our studio and the emotional toll it's taken on our team. The statement, posted on X, read, "We have focused inwardly for several days to support each other. Marvel's Wolverine continues as planned. The game is in production and will no doubt evolve throughout development. As do all our plans, we will share official information about Marvel's Wolverine when the time is right. However, that hasn't stopped a playable PC build of Wolverine from being discovered in the hacked files. There are warnings for potential game spoilers regarding to would-be pirates, as downloading it could result in legal action from Insomniac, as well as the threat of build containing hacker implanted malicious software." So that's the statement from them. I mean, like I said, it sucks, but at least they're just working forward. And I was hoping that this would not affect any of their games, because they could just scrap all their games that have been leaked. But it seems like, at least for Wolverine and hopefully for the other ones as well, that they're just going to keep going with it, even though it's been leaked.
Yeah, I'm glad they're handling it the way they're handling it, which I think that's kind of down to an extent too, because right when I had sent you the things, another topic came up is Sony is planning on laying off 50 to 75 people by March 3rd from both Sony, PlayStation, and Insomniac companies. So
it's not only did their information get leaked, they're going to get laid off too.
Yeah. So here's all your tax documents that got released online. Now you're not going to have a job by March 3rd.
Yeah, that sucks. Good job, Sony.
Like I said, I literally seen that like right after I told you, oh yeah, this is what we're good for this evening. Then I like literally it said released like 50 minutes ago. I'm just like, I'm going to just add this in as like the very end because it obviously goes with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sony, even though they had a ransomware attack on them and had some of their employees' documents released online and everything, some of those same employees have chances of being laid off by March 3rd.
Yeah, that sucks. That definitely sucks.
So yet again, another gaming company laying off employees. This time, not blaming the consumer base, but doing people that potentially just got their tax information released online, personal information.
Yeah, and then, well, Bungie done it, and they're owned by Sony now. I mean, it wasn't really Sony's fault there because they just bought them, but still, it's still a Sony property now.
Well, Bungie actually wasn't in the list of things unless they're underneath them. I mean, I know they're underneath the Sony umbrella,
Yeah.
but it said Sony employees, PlayStation employees, and Insomniac employees.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess pretty specifically.
Right. Yeah, but we talked about Bungie a month ago or so, laying off people, but that sucks for Insomniac, but they're having a hard time.
Don't surprise me, though.
No.
Definitely don't think PlayStation's going broke anytime soon.
No, I mean, that's what I don't get, is gaming. 2023 was a really good year for gaming, and but yet they're laying, a ton of people off from all the different studios and stuff. It's like when they finish the game, they're like, oh, we don't need you anymore. We're starting over on a new game. We don't need all of you, just some of you. It's kind of dirty doing
instead
it
of
that
having,
way.
yeah, look who we're talking about.
Yeah.
They've never been known for making good trades or good decisions with other companies or people in the past.
Yeah, and like I said last episode, it seems like the only company that's not facing this with internal studios or anything is Nintendo.
But that is definitely all the time we have for today and all the topics. I think it's the first time we got through topics all the way through in a while.
A long time since like when we first started podcast.
We've always had stragglers left over.
Yeah. Get to start fresh next week.
Right. So come back next week, get a whole new set of fresh topics.
Yep.
And episode 70.
Yeah.
And YouTube, Discord, Twitter, well, I guess X now, TikTok, Instagram,
Twitch.
got Twitch, got merch on Redbubble.
Yep.
Listen to us where we get the podcast at, or where you can listen to us right now. And got sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yep. In the description.
And I think that's it.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.
All right. Later, guys.